Today, I will be shooting out 6 different sets of guitar pickups. This video is not sponsored. All guitars recorded are using the same EQ settings with no post adjustments, save for volume. The signal chain is the guitar into the Horizon Devices precision drive, into an Engel Powerball 1, into a 2 notes torpedo captor, into a torpedo cab M, which is then DI in. Listen to me stumble through the same demo song I wrote 6 times, and I'll provide first impressions, a semi-objective ranking, and a subjective ranking at the end. Here are some thoughts based on my personal preferences and biases. Fusion Edge. This was a set full of surprises. They had usable punch and cut. Strangely enough, they had lower output than expected. These two things may or may not be related. Ibanez DiMarzio stock pickups have come a long way since the 2000s era, whereas before it was a given that the stock pickups in an Ibanez would face immediate ousting. These get the job done for modern metal. They have great clarity and pull off chugging well. The cleans are not great. Using the coil split rectifies this to an extent and sounds good. However, this is not a solution if you do not want to use a single coil. I did not include the coil split sound here. However, I kept the precision drive on for the cleans. This changes the behavior of the pickup to be more bright and less muffled. EMG 81 set. The typical EMG 81. These hit hard in the high frequencies, giving you the feeling of playing on stage, opening up this pit. While they have that top end enthusiasts crave, they seem to be missing something in the mids. It's like it has a flat response, except at the very top end of the treble where it peaks. These are still killer for riffing, as expected. They have this buzzsaw quality to them that translates into a flavor of sonic aggression unlike anything else. It can't be ignored that they are missing some frequencies when chording, and as such, this design shows its age. Fishman Fluence Modern set. These are like the EMGs, but not at all. They have more frequencies than just the tip ice pick top, giving a tone that's full enough, yet still tight and bright like you want. The chugs were more satisfying than the 81s, and these overall didn't have that strange hollowness or emptiness that the 81s sometimes have when riffing or playing chords. I liked the cleans of these. Note though, their output is high enough to cause noticeable breakup. I would change some settings to ensure they would stay clean. However, I wanted to demonstrate how much these push an amp. JB Jazz set. Okay, so these are very bright. Distorted tones were a mixed bag. It doesn't have the most powerful chugs, and some chords felt a bit weak. However, distorted notes and power chords gave a more than adequate snarl. If they had stronger chugs or fuller chords, these would be a contender for a top pick. These are outstanding given the age of their design. The neck pickup was gamma ray bright and a little thin for leads, to the point where the leads may need to be tamed and fattened up for a less harsh listening experience. EMG 5766 set. These could stand to have a bit more top end, as it's missing the bite it needs to stand out in these mixes. This set doesn't really cut through at all when multiple tracks are layered. The neck leads in particular really get lost, buried in the tectonic subduction under this slab of sound. The bridge is decent for some simpler rhythm work, but again, the intricacies get lost once things start getting more technical. Overall, it feels like the frequency peak is in the wrong spot in the spectrum to make this pickup choice effective in this application. Bare knuckle pickups aftermath set. These are tight and aggressive, and they respond to the subtleties of one's palm muting technique the most. I felt like I was wielding a flame-throwing weapon of mass hatred. These really scream. Very articulate, although these don't have the extreme higher top end that the Fluence Moderns or the EMG 81s do. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. Overall, fantastic to riff on. Initially, I wasn't blown away with the neck cleans. This is due to them not being overly bright. I suspect this is a symptom of these being adjacent to so many trebly tones. I kept the precision drive on for the cleans here. After re-listening a few times, I came to appreciate their mellowness in relation to the other tones here, and I'm now excited to have this color on my tonal palette. The neck lead tones sounded great in person and while playing. I didn't realize they had some relative warmth until listening back later on and A-Bing them with other pickup sets, although the leads do not sound flubby by any means. Overall, the responsiveness and tightness of these pickups make them the most fun to practice with. Here is a semi-objective pickup rating. First place, Fluence Moderns. Pro, most versatile out of the box here, great tone. Con, if you hate active pickups, you may not like Voice 1, although it's really good for modern metal. Second place, the Fusion Edge set. Pro. Sounds great and versatile for the most part. Con. Great, but not excellent, enough to dethrone the Fishmans or BKP in their niches. Not the best cleans on their own, excluding co-split. Third place is the BKP Aftermath set. Pro. Articulate, clear, and brutal distorted tone. Most responsive to pomp muting. Great if you love passives over actives. Con. Not the best cleans on their own. Will need some EQ help to sound excellent. Fourth place is the JB Jazz set. Pro. More cutting and brutal than one might expect. Con. Neck pickup way too bright in lead tones. Ouch. Fifth place is the EMG 81 set. Pro. Was the industry standard for a long time with good reason. Con. Has that strange EMG gooiness to its tone and EMG compression. And in last place, the EMG 5766 set. Pro. Decent workable tone, but con doesn't cut through the mix, especially layered with itself. Now it's time for the subjective personal favorite pickup rating. First, the BKP Aftermath set. These are an absolute joy to play. After using these, all my enemies are in smoldering piles of ash. These pickups feel the most responsive to pomp muting and reward good playing with how tight they are.
Now if only I could play good.
Second, Fluence Moderns. Excellent modern tone. These are really good and you can feel it. They're the A+ student that's also a 10. The best if you're into what they are. The marketing would make these seem like Satan's gift to man, and while they won't solve your problems for you, they are actually good, despite the superfluous nature of hype. Third, Fusion Edge. These get the job done. If I was forced at water gun point to only use these pickups for the rest of my life, that would be acceptable. They work. Fourth, JB Jazz set. Extremely versatile set. Even though they're not designed for modern metal, they do it viciously passably. While not demonstrated here, they're terrific for classic rock too. Fifth, EMG 81 set. Playing it feels good, although they do have that strange gooey mid-range. If you're not riffing in the right part of the fretboard, it feels like some frequencies are missing or less defined. This phenomenon is most noticeable when chording. Last, EMG 5766 set. Big drop-off from the preceding ranking pickups. I can see where they were going with this, but these simply don't cut through the mix with my amp settings. Even with the precision drive, notes were dissolving into the spaghetti. Conclusion. I like most of the pickup sets here. One could ask the question if splitting hairs comparing pickups is worth it. If you have any high output humbucker, can you add some EQ to taste and go to town? One could argue either way. Consider a black car with gray stripes. If there is a second black car with gray stripes of a different shade, and the shades of gray do not significantly contrast each other, the difference cannot immediately be seen. As such, comparing pickups is analogous. Each one of these would sound acceptable as the sole set of pickups used. On the other hand, it takes a quality input to create a quality product. Just like having a great bass photo before the edit will ensure the final image is good, having a good guitar sound is the first step to creating delightful music. In conclusion, it's up to you what you want your sound to be. Please leave your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you want more discussion videos like this, and subscribe for more music.